boom, it's another happy Friday. Beautiful happy Friday as my friend Kirsten on number one again today. You're like, I think are going to get oh, I should probably shut my phone off so it's not playing the background music here. There we go. Anyway, my friend Kirsten, always number one. If she's not number one in like 3 seconds, I start dialing her number, worried about her. Anyway, welcome to another great Friday. And man, it's been a spectacular week. Going to be a big week next week. And I'm just always wait for Fridays because I love Fridays, not because I hate Fridays and hate the work week being over. You got beat, Barry. Can't help. What can I say? Um, but I love Fridays because it's another day to do good stuff, and it's only 2 more days till Monday when we get to go do it again. So, hey, look at Grant. That's, I'm sure, somebody that our friend Tony knows. Love it. Thank you for coming. So, hey, before we get any further, I'm just going, before I start talking forever, we're going to get Tony on. Tony Bova, you're going to love this guy. Got to know him a few months ago. Consider him a good friend already. We've already negotiated some downtown Cleveland hanging out sometime in the near future. So you will love Tony too, because we're going to talk. I've been doing this for 4+ decades, as you all know, and never, ever have I found out a way to make anything that I'm involved in the world of metal or post-frame buildings, metal roofing, whatever, particularly sexy. The closest thing I come is a producer buddy, pal, director, friend, Wes Wyatt, and he's kind of a sexy dude. But beyond that, there's really not a lot sexy about steel until now. You're going to love it. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Tony Bova with Felix. See you in a minute. And there he is. Hey, brother.
What's happening, man? Thanks for having me. We're live.
You got it. Look at this, man. We're live. You're in downtown Cleveland, man. Just Midtown. Is that what we call it?
Midtown. Yeah, we're right outside of downtown Cleveland. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here too.
Is it nice? Yeah. I'm in Northwest Michigan right now, and it's a little cool, like maybe 70, but beautiful day, sunny, nice day. So, but thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. No, thank you for the invite. As you said on the intro, we became quick friends. Really excited to tell your network about what we're doing over here at Felix, and it's really exciting. It's digitalizing the steel industry, and we're making steel sexy every single day.
Love it. You did send me make steel sexy shirt, but 2 problems. One is mine. I left it in Florida when I came north for the summer, which was my mistake. Number 2, if you ever find another one, you sent me a large, and I'm not that big a guy, so I looked a little bad. I wasn't gonna look sexy in that shirt. So, but anyway,
I'll absolutely send you one. So I'm wearing our second one here. I'll stand up for you.
Oh,
so this is our second version. So it's
that's
a little
the one
different.
I want. That's way
cool. A little
cooler.
bit of 70s retro throwback.
I like it. Here's the deal: you keep one, and when we meet up and have a pint or something in Midtown, you can have it to me then. How's that?
That sounds great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, hey, quick shout out also. Shannon made it and Barry made it. They couldn't beat Kirsten, though. She is just sitting there ready to go. Shannon, my friend, good to see you. Barry, as always, second, but hey, keep trying. Anyway, so Tony, give us the Tony Bova story first. Who in the heck is Tony?
Yeah. So born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Haven't left, tried to leave, but I keep getting drawn back in every time. Grew up on the west side of the city. A lot of family. I come from a family of, there's 6 siblings, I have 5 siblings. We all grew up in the area. Some are still here. Some have left. Met my beautiful wife, Megan, in the city. We have 2 beautiful daughters under 3, Celine and Lena. And I got pulled into the steel industry kind of out of happenstance of I was working on a resort island in Put in Bay, which is an island in Lake Erie. And the owner of a steel company, Ed Gonzalez, it's called Farragon Corporation, based here out of Cleveland, Ohio. He actually recruited me when I finished university. He recruited me to come work for his company. Now I didn't know anything about steel. I thought steel was pretty much fence posts. That's all I kind of thought it was, or guardrails. I had no idea the amount of energy and the scale of the industry. But Ed gave me a shot. He said, "Hey, I think you have what it takes to grow in this industry." And he put me through a 2-year training program in the plant. And when I say in the plant, I did every single job that the facility did. That was from, operating slitting lines, rolling mills, cranes, running tow motors, packaging coils, running metallurgy labs. Really got a total understanding of how his business worked, but also how the industry worked. And as you know, being in the industry for 4 decades, there's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of layers. And it really takes about 5 years to understand not just the operational side of the industry, but also the commercial side. So I worked my way up through Farragon, became the head of sales, and helped them start up a facility up in Michigan called HiCal, which was an operational technology company, which really prepared me for what we're doing here at Felix. We designed at that time. They had designed the first hydrogen continuous anneal facility for advanced high strength steels. It all goes into automotive, and all of that experience rolled into the opportunity to join Felix. And Felix is, I had actually started talking to Felix when I was at this company called HiCal as head of sales, because I was trying to sell some inventory. And Grant, who's on here and made a comment of Happy Friday, gave me a call. We've been friends for a long time, and said, "Hey, I think I have somebody that you might be interested in meeting. They're looking to buy some dual phase 780." And so Grant connected me with the platform, and I met this customer through the online portal, and we ended up doing business, and we ended up doing over $1 million in business. So really quickly, I saw that digital technology can work in the space. Didn't know that there was digital technology in the space until Grant had pinged me, and I said, "Hey, this is really cool," and it kind of kickstarted the conversation for me to join Felix.
Nice, nice. And how long ago was that, Tony?
So I joined Felix in December of last year.
Okay.
Was a customer for about a year.
Okay,
Before I joined.
gotcha. So because I want to kind of I think we both want to spend the bulk of our time together talking about Felix and because this concept's pretty new. When you and I first chatted, I probably didn't sound like a guy that's been in this world for 4+ decades, because I just didn't understand, and I found it quite interesting what you guys do. But prior to that, maybe as a setup as we go forward, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the state of the steel industry in general right now.
Mm-hmm.
How we went through the supply chain issues and the pricing and all that. Where do you see things now compared to 6 months ago, a year ago? Where do you see 2023 if you have a crystal ball?
Yeah. So I would say from the past, let's look at the last year. I mean, steel prices are definitely down, significantly down. And that makes sense. If you like from how I view it, that makes a lot of sense. We were at historic highs, pricing that had never been seen before, coming out of a pandemic where consumer demand did not stop whatsoever. There were stimulus packages to actually increase spending, and the result of that was positive, which ultimately drove up costs and drove up inflation. Right. So what I see now is a little bit of stabilization. I feel like we're reaching the bottom from a pricing standpoint. There's still supply chain constraints going on, specifically with automotive. I would be curious to hear your thoughts in the construction space. But, what we're seeing is that, steel prices have kind of bottomed out because, a couple of the mills have come out with price increases. The biggest thing that concerns me over the next 6 months, and I think it'll be not concerning, but just to kind of see how it plays out, specifically from a pricing side, is that there's a couple of major labor contracts that are going to fire up or expire, contract talks that are going to start here in the next couple of weeks, or contracts that are going to expire on September 1st. So it'll be interesting to see how that combined with, annual shutdowns to do preventive maintenance, how all of that combines to steel pricing. So I feel that we're at the bottom. We're seeing that demand is still strong. There's been a little bit of hold off on buying, reducing inventories. But as that price starts to tick back up, I think we'll see a lot of activity generated. We'll see a lot of mill orders placed. And if that combination of labor contract talks extends, past September into October, along with the shutdowns, I think we can see an upswing in pricing again. And the futures curves, I was reading an article today through the SMU. steel market update that was saying that futures curves are starting to tick up too. So I would say that over the next 4 to 6 months, we could probably see some price increases again. Probably not to the historic highs that we just got off of, but kind of ticking up.
Gotcha. So obviously for the guys in the construction world, which I operate in, live in, probably the time to start looking at a little inventory if they need it is a good time right now.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting any longer, probably once they start seeing the tick up, it's probably going to continue, is what you're saying.
Yeah. We'll see what kind of momentum drags. The first price increase is on Monday this week. So I think over the next 4 weeks, we'll have a good understanding where prices are. And I'm talking specifically on flat roll steel. Plate prices have softened, scrap prices have come down, but I was reading some stuff today that looked like scrap prices were going to go back up. The other interesting thing is we're going into winter. There is a war going on, in Europe right now. How is that gonna play into global steel pricing? It'll be interesting to see if energy is a war tool. So there might be opportunity for the United States to export into Europe for the first time in a long time. Actually, export carbon steel into Europe if the energy crisis really kicks off. In that time frame, in winter specifically, if natural gas prices go up, continue to go up, or if geopolitical things happen that cause cutoffs. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. I would tell all of my friends in the industry it's something to definitely keep your eye on.
Right, makes sense. Good advice. So, where in the world did Felix come up with this sexy new idea on how to do business? I mean, I have to say it again. I love that. Favorite hashtag ever. That's like number one. So give just I'm going to shut up for a minute. I know I won't, but I'm going to try. And listen. I want to listen to the Tony story on Felix and how you guys started, why you started, how this whole thing works. I find it quite interesting.
Yeah. So Felix was started by a couple of guys out of a local Cleveland service center. It's a national service center, large company. And our COO, Chris Day, came up with the idea. Seeing that there wasn't any digitalization in the industry, there was still a lot of paper, a lot of Excel spreadsheets, a lot of even faxes in certain cases. So the idea kind of started to formulate while he was with this other organization. And he had the concept to develop an online marketplace for steel where buyers and suppliers could go and interact with each other in a transparent manner. So suppliers can list inventory that they have available to sell. Buyers can come and do a passive search of that inventory. If they see something that they need to buy in a spot market or a contract sense, they can go and be connected directly with that supplier. And then the RFQ side is where the buyers can actually post, take proaction and post an RFQ to the entire supply network. So when Chris was thinking about this concept, and he brought in some design engineers, and we started to really look at the way to digitalize the industry. Step one was in a marketplace, and it was really to create a transactional process that was completely digital, help remove paper, also help create connectivity, and also create transparency in the entire supply chain. Meaning that from the time that the steel's made to the time that it's manufactured in a part, that all of that is tracked and traced using digital technology tools.
Gotcha.
Instead of having paper from a steel mill, which was the original cert, all the way to a manufactured part, there's probably 100 pieces of paper in that entire chain. So we came to the concept of how do we connect buyers and suppliers, but how do we create digital traceability within that? And that's where Make Steel Sexy comes along. It is a little provocative, but it comes along in that the industry has always been viewed, not the people that are in it. I love it. I smell iron and I get super excited. I was doing some plant tours this week and I love the smell of iron oil and manufacturing. But it was to bring new life into the industry because it hadn't adopted this type of technology. It's really one of the last spaces in the world that hasn't adopted it. If you look at even just automotive sales. You have Cars.com, Auto Trader. You have all these companies that have brought buyers of vehicles and directly to the suppliers. But the steel industry, the metals industry, and the industrial space hasn't been touched at all with digital technology. In fact, they've done a really good job. The industry itself has in investing in operational technology. How do we make parts better? How do we make steel better? How do we become more efficient? All of those type of technology investments have been made, but nothing has been done in the transactional side, the procurement side, the commercial side of the business. And that's really where we came up with the idea to found Felix and start to add that technology and give the entire industry access to that technology and data that's created when the tools are used.
So so it's pretty exciting because so you're and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a marketplace digitally to connect both the buyer and the seller. And I like the fact that it's not just one or the other. You can go on whichever part of that industry you're from, right?
That's
And
exactly right. Yeah, if you're buying, right now we're in flat roll products.
Mhm.
That was a place to start because that's the background of the founders, and myself. A lot of us from the steel side started in flat roll products. So a comfort level, and based out of Cleveland, there's a lot of flat roll. We are going down the path to do long products, structural products, wires, rods, beams, all that kind of stuff. You can post RFQs in the marketplace for that right now. Suppliers don't list inventory on it. But the concept was exactly what you said, is create a place where digital commerce can happen in the industry as phase one. And it's all transparent. So if Randy Company had some hot roll steel that he wanted to sell, and Tony Company was the buying company and they wanted to buy it, they know you know exactly who you're dealing with. We don't get in the middle of the transactions whatsoever. We are matchmaking within our system. And there's really cool tools in the background that we've designed where if an RFQ is posted, the buyer's automatically notified immediate with AI that there's supply in our inventory on the material for sale side of the marketplace. So they're directly connected to that supplying company, and they can go and start negotiations directly through the platform. It's really one place for digital sales to be tracked. So the suppliers they can see all the digital sales. They can see who they've sold to, the volumes. There's data to share with their organization to track the digital strategy goals. And the same goes for the buyers. The buyers can see how many RFQs got quotes, the time of the quotes, all the negotiations in one place. Instead of having 6 or 7 emails, a couple of calls and text, now it's all in one place. So those buyers can go in and make a buying decision, a confident buying decision, and the suppliers can go and grow their business. They can meet new customers and meet new opportunities that maybe they didn't have the opportunity to quote, or maybe their salespeople just missed this buyer or couldn't get into the door because buyers are really busy. There's a lot of factors at play, but digital technology helps even the playing ground for both sides.
so Felix is supplying and managing the platform, but you're not involved, you said, in that negotiation at all. Nobody's talking to Tony, the buyer steel and the seller steel. You're not involved in that negotiation at all. That's just you're supplying the platform for which they can do that.
Exactly. We're a technology company,
Yep.
strictly a technology
Yep.
company building tools. Now, that's not to say that we look at user experience as number one. Our customers matter most. So we are very involved in helping customers post RFQs, making suggestions on suppliers, or if suppliers are trying to sell something, we help them actively try and meet using our system and the data to go out and see what kind of customers had historically bought that and make personal introductions. So there is a little bit of activity from the Felix side. But that's also because the industry, one of the core foundations is relationships.
Right.
We have really good relationships with both the manufacturers that we work with and the supply side.
Sure.
And we really help be the introductory party in between that and say, hey, you buy galvanized, you supply galvanized, you guys should be having a conversation.
Gotcha.
And we do that a lot. That's one of our great services that we offer, and it doesn't cost anything for us to make introductions and reach out and introduce people. And we've found a ton of success as we've scaled our business And specifically through the pandemic, there was a lot of Zoom meetings. Our whole entire company was grown as a remote company, which is an amazing feat. But that one piece of us being able to interact with the entire market, the entire industry, and be a facilitator to conversations helped us scale our business. And Randy, we've done over $600 million in transactions across our platform. So, really, really, impressive stats for an early stage company to create digital commerce. And through that whole process, so I'm going to kind of jump to the next one, is to the next offering that we saw that we thought that we could really help the industry with. And this is, within the marketplace. And I'll talk a little bit about the technology that we've developed with our investors. Is we saw that there was also a lot of pain in the logistics side, and that, booking trucks, managing the freight, finding a larger network of carriers was really, really difficult. And that was another area that had historically been email and paper-based. So what we did is we actually created the first steel-specific live API freight quoting tools. So we have that internally as a tool. And what we do is actually, if there's material for sale in our marketplace, a supplier or a buyer can go in and they can get a live freight rate on that material from where the material location is directly to their facility. And they know exactly how much it's going to cost to haul that steel from that supplier location to their facility. And we were the first ones to do that in the space. And with that tool, we've also, so instant shipping quotes. And with that tool, we've also seen that we can do that process a little bit offline. We're building out the tool right now for our members to go in and actually generate their own rates, and then work with our team to coordinate those loads. But right now we quote it like if one of your customers had some freight that they wanted us to quote, we get it to them immediately. And then the other thing that we do is we actually give them access to our system, our transportation management system, so they can see all of the loads that are booked with us, and then they can track that. And ultimately that rolls in as the data is collected and as we build out the platform more and more as we continue to grow. We're actually going to have live tracking. So when the steel's loaded on the truck to when it's delivered, there's going to be live tracking, just like you would see when you hail an Uber and you see the car coming to you and you see where you're going. It's going to be the exact same for steel. It's actually, we thought it was pretty wild that you could track a $5 cheeseburger, but you couldn't track a $40,000 steel investment. And that's sense. A problem. You want to know exactly where that steel's at.
Exactly.
And so we're really excited to roll that out. That's coming soon. And then the other thing about that too is that suppliers using our logistics solutions are going to be able to send links to their customers and say, hey, the steel's on its way, and now you can track it. So the total experience starts to be completely digitalized, meaning that, transaction happens online, and then the actual logistics is tracked online, and now you're starting to build into that entire supply chain, and start to digitalize the entire process.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So, question: your supplier side, mills, service centers, anybody and everybody that has some steel they want to sell can partake in the marketplace. Is that correct, or is there limitations?
Yeah, great question. So in our live marketplace, in our production marketplace, we have everybody from small brokers and distributors all the way up to steel mills posting future productions, global trading companies. It's regional service centers, national service centers, family-owned service centers, you name it, it's on there. We've covered the entire marketplace from a supply side. And then on the buying side is we have manufacturers, again, of all different types and sizes, from publicly traded manufacturers to, mom and pop fabrication shops posting RFQs. So we really cover, the total industry space. Over 1,600 plus unique locations are active, and that's growing every single day. We add new members every single day.
So I think you kind of answered the question, but so like you said, the mom and pop little local roll former with 5 or 6 employees, they literally could get on here and find a coil of specific gauge and tensile strength, whatever they're looking for, paint system, whatever the case may be, or they could literally buy truckloads, or they could buy all their product. It's all a matter of what they need in that specific time, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You
Okay.
can post a request for quote for 2,000
Wow.
pounds all the way up to 100,000 tons. Like
Nice.
there's really no limit on the size of the RFQ. And once our team sees those RFQs posted, we do that background thing that I'd explained a little bit ago. We
Hmm.
do the background thing, and we're helping make sure that that all the suppliers are notified that an RFQ has been posted. Now we do have
Nice.
automatic email relaying, so any supplier that checks the notifications box, cold roll, galvalume, galvanized, plate, all the products in the flat roll side, they have notification set up. So whenever an RFQ is posted that matches the notifications in which they want to receive, they're automatically notified, and they can actually quote right through the email. So if you're on your phone, you're out, you're out doing some yard work, and it's 8 o'clock at night, you get an email from Felix saying, hey, this buyer just posted an RFQ. Do you want to quote? And you can quote right there. So we've
Wow.
really thought about the process in all the different types of tools that people use, whether it's laptops, desktops, mobile phones. We've created the tools so the buyers and suppliers can both use whatever device that suits them, and they can do commerce directly through the digital chain, right there on their phones.
I think it's really cool is that Mason Burchett, love it. Lead with technology. Do you know Mason by chance? You should if you guys don't know each other.
I think I'm connected with
Yeah,
Mason on LinkedIn, but we've
yeah,
never
yeah.
met. So
Good guy, good
would
guy.
love to meet him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
thanks,
So
Mason.
the beautiful thing is that it seems like there's no limitation on either end, which you've kind of it's I don't want to say one size fits all, but it kind of does. It doesn't matter. You could be the largest buyer buying from the smallest seller or vice versa.
Hmm.
It just doesn't matter. It's just a place to go anytime you want to sell or buy some product. I just think that's unique and it's brilliant. And it also, the thing I like is from the is the suppliers, whether they're the mill or whether they're the service centers, they don't have to look at you as really a competitor because you're not competing against them. You're just supplying them a platform because you're not selling steel. You're just
That's
supplying a platform for this to
That's
happen,
exactly
right?
right. That is exactly right. So we are a technology company. We do not get in the middle of transactions. We do not take inventory positions. We do not sell
Yep.
steel. We are strictly designing and developing tools in-house with our own engineering team, with the backgrounds of, we have people from Slack, we have people from Groupon, we have people from Uber Freight. We have an extremely diverse background, both in steel and technology. And we do not want to participate in the market. We do not want to buy or sell steel. We do not want to be competitors to our
Right.
customers. We want to build technology tools to help them track, trace, and drive data and drive conscious making decisions for their business to enhance their business going
It's
forward.
good stuff.
It's that simple. And
Yeah.
that, we're just not going to do that. That's not, if we did that, then now we just have our own portal and
Right.
we're buying
Right.
and selling steel.
Exactly.
And that's, that doesn't actually, we say it like this: we don't want to be part of one transaction. We want to help be part of all transactions.
Right. Exactly.
And that's a core pillar to our business. Don't be a competitor to your customers.
Exactly.
Be an answer.
Exactly. Um, One of the last things that is Wes popped it up a few minutes ago when he was running through some of your website is financing. Um, Obviously you offer some type of financing that for some of the
Mhm.
big guys probably doesn't matter, but that could be, I'm assuming, is a little bit more towards the small to medium sized guy, or no? Am I wrong? Tell us how that works just a little bit.
Yeah. So that you nailed it. So what we saw too was that in creating digital technology, we have the marketplace, which is the core of what we've created, but also we started to add a la carte services like logistics, like I talked about. But the financing side came about in that. In order to connect two parties that may have not done business before, sometimes that process can be really lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was and we've soft rolled this out. We're kind of we're going through piloting programs right now, but it is available if somebody's interested to have a conversation about. But what we've done is we've developed with some partners a financing solution where we do soft credit checks, and then we pay the supplier upon successful delivery a portion of the total invoice, and we create quick commerce. That process can happen now within within minutes, as opposed to within days through a traditional credit process. It simplifies the paying process. We are actually buying the invoice is essentially
Hmm.
how it works, and then we will invoice the buyer company, and we will supply the funds or the cash back to the supplying company, based upon the total invoice. There's fees associated with that, which is fine. But we've seen a lot of interest in that because it creates faster transactions, transaction capability, and also because in new relationships, sometimes there is a little bit of risk. If
Right.
we prove that hey, we're going to stand behind this buying company, we're going to establish the line of credit. The supplier then is a little bit at ease, and it can create more commerce between the two.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you nailed the three, right? You got supply, logistics, and financing. Yeah. What else is there? It's sexy. It's sexy. That's what it is,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's exactly right. Yeah, we'll have some other stuff coming down the line. Can't release it now. I think
Right.
it's going to be really, really interesting. But really, what we're doing is we're helping the industry digitalize, like I've said a bunch, making steel sexy. But we're also taking that data that's created and we're giving it back to our member network,
Yep.
meaning that metrics on how their business performs, quote comparisons, what the live freight rates, meaning that you have actual transparency and cost in the freight rate. Freight's an ever moving thing. It moves every single day with fuel surcharges. We stand behind our freight quotes. We get competitive lanes, and we're starting to map out. So over time, what will happen is that our trucking partners will be able to take a load to one destination, and we'll know what steel's available in that end destination to ship back, so the
Hmm.
drivers can do backhauls.
Nice.
That's the scalability, and ultimately that drives down costs for all parties involved. So we always say, if you're not saving somebody money or you're not making them money, then there's no solution.
Right.
How's it going to make me money? How's it going to save me money? So all of our approach and strategy is around that, of how do we help our customers save money? How do we help them make money? How do we give them new solutions that cause pain every single day? And we look at this as a really, really big challenge. I mean, this is hard. There's a lot of
Right.
different nuances in steel. It's not easy.
Right.
But every single day we wake up motivated to look at it and go, okay, what are we going to do today? We're going to go get stuff done.
Yep.
And every single day, our entire team wakes up and is super motivated to go and help our members and build technology that solves old age problems of just paper and people. I mean, it's
Yep.
like, so I say that in that sense, is like, there's a lot going on in a day-to-day business. The tools that we build, we try to help save everybody time. Save time in your day-to-day process, save time in that sales process, save time in that purchasing process. And that's exactly what we've done to this point, is that we built the platform in a way that saves time, and it ultimately saves money because it gives more transparency, it gives cost
Right.
cost comparison tools, and it also gives suppliers access to more buyers. So it's really a win-win for everybody involved.
That's awesome. Beautiful. Well, so you've been very kind with your time as we kind of wind down. What's we've been running the banners across the bottom. People can get a hold of Tony at felix.com, right? And also find you on LinkedIn. If I had to guess, when you get off of here, Mason Burchett's already sent you a like or a follow. I'm sure he has. Mason, hurry up. I'll keep him on for 3 more minutes. You got time, buddy. Anyway, should ask questions. Wes always pops that up for me when I forget. What haven't I asked you? What did you want to talk about today that maybe I missed? Because this is the chance to final this thing out with brilliance from Tony.
Yeah. So I think we covered a lot, which has been great,
Mm-hmm.
and thanks. I would say that I always like to kind of think philosophically about how my journey's gone. And my journey went from starting in a steel plant to now making steel sexy with the digital company to help the industry. And it was an interesting path. And I guess to all the listeners is I found a couple of things to be really important, and that was be patient with your journey. Do stuff. Go and do stuff. Even if you don't know what you want to do, just go do
Mm-hmm.
it. And build your network. And that's how, Randy, that's how you and I connected. Is
Right.
you looked really interesting. I was following you on LinkedIn, and I sent you a message, and I said, hey, it would be great to meet you.
Yep.
and let's build a network, and so let's see how we can connect and go forward. And I found that in our industry specifically it is a people's industry, which
Right.
is why, again, Felix has built a transparent marketplace. And to grow your network, everybody that's listening, go grow your network. Go like somebody's post on LinkedIn.
Right on.
Go say hello to somebody. Send them a message. Send them a video of you talking, and just and grow the network, and be patient. Be patient with life, because it goes fast.
Yeah, it does. It does. And then you're right. Yeah, it was just awesome how quick we connected and have become buddies in a short period of time, and share each other's stuff and communicate back and forth. And Mason did say that he would like one of those shirts, but anyway, Mason, get on, do an RFQ, and see what it takes. You'll hope Tony will put you in connection with the
I'll get to
T-shirt people.
anybody that wants a shirt. Come post an RFQ for some steel.
There you go. Oh man, but anyway, Mason, by the way, I'll give a shout out to people that deserve shout outs, and he deserves one. He's been on my show a couple times, and he's a young gun in the world of steel. And he also is a podcaster himself. He's got a great show, the Crush It Team. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. It's a great podcast. So if
That's
you get a
great.
chance
I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah, check him out. Him and Matt Davis, good folks. So that's $20, Mason. You can Venmo me later. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, well, thank you. I appreciate the time, and this has been even more enlightening than I thought it would be. So.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. Thanks. It's been awesome on buildingwins.live. It's been awesome. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on here, talk a little bit about myself, and talk about Felix.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk soon. Chat, buddy.
Thank you.
Or, cheers, I should say. We already chatted.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. See you, pal. All right. See, we just spent 1.5 hour, a little more than that, about 35 minutes of making steel sexy. Can you get any better than that? So that was a good time. And if follow Tony, follow Felix. If you have missed anything and you want to reach out to me, I'll be glad to get you connected with Tony and the boys at Felix. So what are we doing next week? I'm going to be on the road next week, but you are going to still have a Building Wins live drop next week on Friday, regular time, with a guy, Chuck Toki. Chuck is a speaker, he's a motivator, he's a trainer, and he's co-founder of Top Rep, which is an organization that does training for represent house in-home sales more than anything else, but in-home sales, metal roofing, windows, doors, all that kind of stuff. I've listened to the guy speak in person. He's exciting, he's knowledgeable, and he's going to walk us through the sales process and how to do it right. And even in one day sales, where people sometimes see that as a little bit of a pushy industry, he does a great job of telling everybody that will listen, that's going to be in the sales world, whether it's B2B or B2C, is it doesn't have to be pushy. You develop the system, you develop the program, you do it right. And you will love Chuck, and that'll be next week, Friday. So until then, I think you ought to just go live it, love it, own it, and make today your best day ever. Until tomorrow. Cheers, my friends.